I guess it would be kind of rude to say one name of a good reporter, but I will do, because I have a good example, and it's someone that is coming today to, I think, one of the next panels. We have a good example of one company in Spain. I can talk just about the Spanish network, which is Telefónica. They're both a GRI reporter and a UN Global Compact signatory, and they are building a new model that is based on both initiatives, the UN Global Compact principles and the GRI framework, and that would be the base of the report. And then up of that, they would put sectoral indicators to just respond to the demands of stakeholders from their sectoral part. And then up to that, they will put regional indicators. So in each one of the countries that they're placed at, they will have indicators for each one of the countries where they operate. So I think that's a good example, and that's something, I mean, it's still coming out, so we still have to wait to see what happens, but I think it's a great idea, so I'm happy to share that. And regarding the annual workshop, I think it's a great idea, but let's see, about resources, because, for example, in our network, we have very little resources, so maybe we can... Oh, great.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have to make sure that we don't spend too much money in things like that maybe we can do in a different way. So maybe we can think of a platform to exchange experience between both initiatives, or we can think of, I don't know, a social network or something like that. I mean, we have so many technology stuff going on that I'm pretty sure we can find something out, but thank you for the suggestion. And regarding templates of SMEs for SMEs, I will convince Ernst that it's a great idea, our template, so don't worry, we'll get there.
Thank you. Raji?
Yes, sure. Actually, it might be a bit strange, but for me as a company, the structure of the GRI is providing is easier than reporting on the Global Compact 10 principles, because when it drills down to the subcontractors and the supply chain, it becomes a bit confusing. If I'm using a supplier in anywhere in the world and they, for some reason, use child labor, let's say, is it my fault? Do I need to report on that while I don't have control? I'll take another thing. In the transportation industry, you are not allowed to get any shipment into most of the countries in the Middle East that contains literature. You have to get it through the government. It goes to the government, they check it, and they send it back to you. Either they take it over or they just send it back to the receiver. So am I violating human rights here as a company? It's not in my hands. So how do I report on this? So there is a bit of a confusion when it drills down in the supply chain, while when I go to the GRI, it's more structured, straightforward indicators that you need to report, and even though you need to write 100 pages of a report, but still you can do, you can take your way through the indicators that are there. So what I want to see, and as I mentioned before, is that we create a bit more of indicators within the GRI that would cover the reporting on the Global Compact with explanation on each of the 10 principles that are there.
Okay, thank you. So,
just a very quick thing on there. We already developed a, what's the name of that? Publication on supply chain for the Global Compact Spanish network, and it's actually downstairs in the first floor, I think, and gives you an idea on how to implement and how to deal with the supply chain. And that's a good example, because we already used some GRI indicators to report on that, and so it's not just about implementation but also about reporting. So that's a good example of our future.
Okay. Thank you for that. I'm going to open up for another set of 3 questions. I'm seeing one hand, but maybe let me share this quickly whilst the other colleagues are thinking of raising their hands. Coming from a government perspective, now my question would be integration. There's these 3 words: integrate, mainstream, align. we are always told to do that. And my question would be, is there an end to integrating and mainstreaming and aligning? Because once at some point GRI thought they had it all right, the framework is in place, the global compact principles are in place. Now we realize, no, these people need to talk together, and then the OECD guidelines, that must come through, and I might come with something else, or someone out there's a think tank, I'm sure, happening somewhere, designing something that would need to be aligned to the global compact and the GRI and so forth. So it's a trick question, but it seems like we are aligning and mainstreaming for forever and ever. So it's a hypothetical question. I've noted this hand, 1, 2. Do I have a third hand? This might be our last round of questions. So, okay, I've got 2 hands, 3. Thank you.
There's a couple of comments and one question. Just on good practice, importantly though, that you can actually subscribe to a thing called Report Alert, and that sends you like a brief snapshot of the latest sustainability reports that they sort of report register, and you actually get to see there who's using the GRI and the Global Compact and how material or how integrated, if you like, practices are. But I was just going to say, I think one really great advantage in this marriage, if you like, is that the Global Compact puts a lot of store by making what is global local and really encouraging local networks to infuse sort of local issues for their country. And at the same time, the GRI is interested in the notion of country annexes, so I think there's a lot of good space there to explore. And one thing that we're looking at doing in Australia is to run almost like thematic events. So in Australia, for instance, waste management is a real issue. So we can actually look at that issue, have experts talk about it, look at the experiences of business, and then do the real tooling part. So bring in the global compact, bring in GRI, and talk about how to use those. But one challenge that we have is with having a global focal point, we're keen to encourage businesses to become organisational stakeholders, and that has a cost to it. And at the same time, we're growing a global compact network, we're keen to get organisations to pay a membership fee. So we're sort of after oftentimes 2 payments from the same company. So that's something that might become more of an issue over time.
Thank you. My second hand was... Do you have a mic? Okay. No? Oh.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Bostwick. I'm a sustainability consultant in Colombia, and what we are doing in a current project in a partnership with the local compact network in Colombia is developing a cycle of training. It consists of 3 courses, and the primary purpose of the training is to address the need that businesses in Colombia have of how to publish the communication on progress, which is part of the Global Compact, but we can't run a training on the communication on progress without including the GRI as well, because so many reporters are doing both. So the first thing is I wanted to mention that we're working on that, and if anyone else is working on it around the world doing training cycles for the Global Compact, if you could please look for me, and I'd like to exchange ideas. We just did our first course last week, so we have a little bit of experience on how it went over. And the question to the panel is, if you have any advice on people or companies that are organizing trainings on these topics, particularly communication and progress, because I know a lot of us are GRI certified trainers. So that would be the question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The last question, the lady on that side. Yep.
Thank you. My name is Diana. I work